Hello, can you see my slides? Hello, can you see my slides? Hello. Uh, Good evening, everyone, and a special request to others. Whenever someone present, don't share your screen. Okay. Hello, very good evening, everyone. We can start our today's section within 5 minutes. Okay, please stay tuned. Very good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone who gathered from different part of the world. And today is going to be the third day or the final day of our pre-COP Global Youth Summit. And this summit is a program that is organized by ENCORE Foundation along with other different youth led NGOs from different corners of the world. And yet we had nearly 13 speakers, young speakers, who speak their concerns on the climate change and especially as you know the COP27 is going to happen in next month, and our overviews and everything were discussed in the last 2 days on October 16th and 23rd, and today is the last day of our event, and we also have nearly 8 delegates from different parts of the world like last time, and I would like to mention their names now. I hope all of them are gathered here anyway. And today's first speaker will be our Sedhu, and then second speaker will be Obira Victor, and then Will Silf, then Sonali from India, then Nadhukonda Sharon, and Isa Esi, and Kato Paul, and Takuma Eva. These 8 speakers is going to address different issues that is in their place, as well as some key points that is going to address in upcoming COP27. And I would like to invite all the participants to join the sessions. And thank you so much for your support throughout from the last 3 weeks. And today we will give you a feedback form, and you can fill that form. And after a couple of weeks, you will get the participant certificates. And for the delegates, they will get the presentation certificates as well. And today, I believe we can start our sessions with our first speaker, who is already assembled here. And now I would like to invite him. So yeah, we can start our sessions. Okay, in 2 minutes we can. And today's our first speaker of the sections will be Sedhovo. Actually, he is a statistician as well as a demographer, and he holds a professional master's degree in demography and a master's degree in economic analysis, and he is specialized in statistical analysis of numerical data. I would like to invite him for the session. And the second speaker, as I mentioned earlier, the second speaker is Obira Victor, and he's from the American Football for American Mission. That is a youth led organization from Africa. And if the first speaker is available there, please, I would like to invite him to the session now. And I request you to share the slides as well, please. Please share your slides, and then you can start your session. Thank you. Okay, and are you using the computer? Yeah, right now I think we can see your slides. Yeah, we can see your mobile screen now. Can you go to your PPTs?
Please, I don't know how I want to share my screen.
Okay, I could help you to do that. And Yep, but we can see your slides, your screen anyway. So after you just share your screen, go to your slides.
Okay.
And meanwhile, to the participants,
Please,
and if you
please,
have
please,
any queries, you can raise your hands, and
please.
please don't share your screen if not necessary. Okay.
Okay, okay. Okay, hello everyone. Please, for my presentation, I want to apologize for the quality of my English because I'm more comfortable in French. In Cameroon we have two zones. We have a francophone zone and anglophone zone. Where you live in the francophone zone, you don't have people with who you can speak English every day. So let's go. The theme of my work is uh, policy for a healthy and prosperous planet. F5. My name is Zedou Ngenamoun Jikam from Cameroon. I'm a statistician, demographer, member of Go Yungo, and ambassador of Ashley Lashley Foundation. Firstly, for the environmental problems, today the relationship between humanity and natural capital is no longer sustainable. The lapidation of natural resource, the pollution of the air, of the soil and subsoil, of the sea and river are reaching critical level because modern man has behaved irresponsibly toward this natural capital, stimulated by the lure of profit and the bulimia of consumption of a part of a world population. The depletion of a certain fresh water resource, the mistreatment of the nourishing health, the drastic reduction of the diversity of animals and plant species, the modification of climate, the proliferation of new disease constitute worrying sign of an imbalance in the relationship between man and nature. The alert was given at the international level in 1987 in Brundtland by the United Nations report on the environment, which demand that the relationship between man and nature must be one that one that lead to sustainable development, meeting the need of the present generation without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs. For the policy recommendation, in order to respect present and future humanity, rule of sharing and acquisition must be found that are fairer than those imposed by the law of a competitive free market. Thus, it is necessary to adopt a technique that limit waste, to modify harmful production process, to save non-renewable nature resource, to recycle out of use products, to treat waste, to design and produce manufacturers products and service adapted to the requirement of the SDG. As nature is a common good of humanity, it will be incumbent on the United Nations Environment Program to create a specific commission in charge to monitoring and evaluating climate policy. UNEP should change the paradigm in environment protection, promoting a policy of penalty and coordinate sanction against countries that refuse to align themselves with the universal law of nature. For the healthy and prosperous relationship between man and nature, it is therefore necessary to, firstly, slow down the proliferation of new infrastructure, road and habitat in order to increase the non-cultivated surface of the planet, and to promote the fight against deforestation and the disappearance of certain species. This strategy will avoid that another animal piece product another virus, like for us, like the case of pangolin with the coronavirus. Secondly, to limit the number of children in Africa to 3 per woman, in the order to slow down the Africa demography, which is growing exponentially at the same rate of as the infrastructure. This strategy will systematically substitute physical capital with natural capital in the order to increase the higher favorable for our agriculture. Thirdly, to resort the renewable energy in order to reduce the phenomena of atmospheric pollution. This strategy will prevent acid water from raining on our planet. And the last, to stop the use of chemical or phytosanitary product in agriculture in order to avoid that the hull become frigid, making the production sterile. So thank you very much for your attention. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry for the quality of my English, because I'm not comfortable in French, in English. I'm sorry. I'm sharing with you the.
Okay, thank you so much for your presentation. And I believe rest of the delegates could share their slides. And if they have any difficulties in sharing, please mail that to our Gmail address. That's I given in the delegates group. Okay. And the second delegate is going to be a delegate from organizations called American Football for African Mission, and Obiora Victor. I hope he is ready. And could you please share your slides with the participants? Then it will be more clear for the participants. Okay. Thank you so much. Please join. Please share your screen.
Yeah, good afternoon from Nigeria. Can you hear me all?
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, actually, you know, I didn't prepare any slide, but I prepared just a speech for my presentation. And so my presentation will be centered on the youth and their participants in climate change. My name is Obiora Victor Amadi from Nigeria. I'm working with an NGO, the American Football for African Mission, that is, you know, an NGO that is registered in Nigeria and as well as registered in the United States. I'm the executive president of this organization, and what we try to do all the time is to use sport as a means of reaching out to the youth of Africa. Now, youth and climate change. Young people are not only victims of climate change, but they are also contributors to climate action. They are agents of change, entrepreneurs, and innovators. Whether through education, science, and technology, young people are scaling up their efforts and using their skills to accelerate climate action. Why is climate change such an important issue for today's youth? Climate change has increased levels of uncertainty about our future. As its impact bites harder over time, one thing is certain: we will depart this earth to today's children and young people and to future generations. There are 5 ways young people can, combat climate change. One is by avoiding being skeptical to make your voices heard. Number 2, never stop educating yourself on things concerning climate change. Number 3, spend quality time on outdoors. 4, daily embrace of sustainability practices. 5, continuous campaign / advocacy. And this last point is where I would like to dwell upon, that American Football for African Mission, our organization, which is a non-profit, has the responsibility of using sport as a vehicle to reach out to the youth of Africa and several United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Africa has the youngest population in the world, with about 70% of sub-Saharan Africa under the age of 30 years. Sadly, just a handful of this young population are aware of the dangers and effects of climate change. American Football for African Mission is happy to use sports to reach, like American football, to reach out to the youth of Africa on climate change and environmental sustainability. The importance and acceptance of sport in the life of youth cannot be overemphasized. Therefore, American Football for African Mission continuous campaign in Nigeria on climate change has been more on the primary and secondary schools, creating much needed awareness through purposeful plays and exercises. That is yielding much success as the number of youth awareness on climate change and environmental sustainability keeps increasing astronomically. Conclusion: can we imagine sportsmen and women who are mostly youth speak up about climate change on their various social media platforms and on every stage they find themselves? Such stages can include, but not limited to, talking about the Super Bowl, which the NFL, the NFL competition, talking about the Olympic Games, FIFA World Cups, the massive awareness of and impact climate change advocacy would have on the entire world if young people could step up, to speak in such platforms like the Olympic Games and what have you. Therefore, never underestimate the power of youth through sports on climate action. So I endure every one of us to support the youth, in as much as the youth are so glued to sports. And I want everyone to support the youth in the quest for them to fight against climate action, in the quest for them to fight against climate justice or climate change. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Obiora, for sharing your views. And as you said, the sports is very significant whenever we discuss about the climate and climate actions. Thank you for giving me insight on it. And now I would like to invite our next delegates, Sonali, and she's from Pune University, India. Ms. Sonali. Sonali.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Am I audible?
Can you please share your slides?
Yes, yes. Wait a minute. It's now is it visible?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can see your slides. Can you make it as a slideshow?
Yes, yes. Yeah. Hi, this is Sonali. I'm from India. I have done my master's degree in computer engineering. Now I'm telling you about the what India is doing in conference of parties and how India is dealing with the climate change. So this is my indices that I'm giving introduction, then climate change and biodiversity in India, then what steps that Indian government has taken to cope up with the climate change, and then how youth can work on it. So second, this is my introduction. So as we know, the global climate change, it is a system that is connected with the sun, earth, ocean, winds. These are the necessary things for the climate activity and atmosphere so that it makes the balances. Now, as our country means we are having northeastern states where there are Himalayas. Now in India, it's rich in heritage, means we are having all kind of species in all different region. So we are having western region, Western Ghats, where we can.
Hello, Sonali.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Actually, we can't see your slides properly. Can you do the slideshow?
Slideshow. Okay, wait a minute.
No, next to that.
Next to that, yes. Now it.
Now it is visible, clear. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So climate change and biodiversity in India. So India is very rich heritage in biological diversity, and we are having 0.46 means BIOD score, and it's we are having a rank 8 in all over the world. So the total forest cover of India is 23.39%. So that's the most means good thing that we are having such kind of forest and tree cover, and we are having various native plants and indigenous healthcare system. Means in India we used to export Ayurvedic plants and herbs and trees. So these are found in northeastern states. Northeastern states are here in this region. We can see northeastern state. So here we can find many different things, means herbs and shrubs, different kind of plants and species. Now next is biodiversity hotspot. So India has 4 biodiversity hotspots from all over the world out of 36 hotspots that are present in the world. So this is known as the Himalaya ranges, and this is known as the Western Ghats. If we are having Western Ghats, we can find so many different kind of species, and then Indo-Burma region and the Sundaland. This all the red shaded portion that you can that is visible. These are known as the hotspot. Now India is working to conserve these hotspot areas with the other countries whenever there are UNFCCC conference or climate change. So I'm just sharing that how India is taking steps to cope up with the climate change. Next thing is action taken by India. Then, so what we are doing? So India has set up a national mission on strategic knowledge for climate change. Now in that, we have established an research institute, like ISRO is there, Indian Space Research Organization, and we are setting, it is in Dehradun. Dehradun is located in northeastern region of India. So from there, they are taking the data through satellites, and through satellite we are analyzing that where there is changes regarding like landsliding or anything else. If this is happening, then what steps should be taken? Now that the steps that to be implemented in that area, we are giving to the ministry. So we are having some kind of ministry like Ministry of Earth, Ministry of Department of Science and Technology. So these resources we are allocating, means these people, manpower we are allocating to that particular area to cope up with that climate change. Whatever the natural hazardous is occurring in that area, to cope up with that, we are giving these things, we are allocating these resources. Then establishment of global technology. Now, for example, global technology means we are doing some MOUs, means memorandum of agreement, with UN, or there are some other ministries that are resided like UN. So we are doing such kind of MOU with them. Then bilateral relations, so that we can purchase their technology and share in our India. So, and then again, development of national capacity for modeling and regional impact of climate change on different ecological zones. So there are some ecological zones, like I have explained, north region, then southern region, that is Kerala and Karnataka we are having. Then in that zones, we are establishing some institutes, some ministries to work on it. Then of course, agriculture, health, natural ecosystem. So whatever the impacts are there due to climate change, we are working on it. Now next thing is that, so here action taken by India for climate mitigation. To reduce the climate change and its hazardous effect, we are having the following ministries. The following ministries are these: the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. So they are setting up the rules, they are setting up the agendas, that these are, for example, where to establish a solar panel and how we can use that energy. Right now we are having buses that are public transport system that are working on electrical energy, so that we are reducing the emissions of CO2, and again we are having some CNG gases, and we are trying to blend ethanol in petroleum. So these kind of steps taken by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Even we are having Ministry Petroleum Institutes in Dehradun. Then enhance energy efficiency. So we are focusing on our Ministry of Power. These are focusing on to use the energy, the renewable energy sources, then sustainable habitat. These are our actions plans we have set to mitigate the climate change in COP27 as well as in COP26. Also, we have shared these things, that how we are working on these following aspects, like conserving water, then what steps to be taken for green India. This has been done by Ministry of Environment and Forest. So in such a case, in this way, we can give the work to the ministry to cope up with the climate change. So next slide. 1 minute. So DST strives to combat climate change, a global environmental change. Now, what is meant by DST? DST means Department of Science and Technology. Now, we are given work to this DST, that where you have to focus on. Now, they are focusing on the Himalayan ranges, as I have shown that the red portion in previous slide. So that is the Himalayan portion, Himalayan region, where we can found endemic species. Endemic species means there are certain species that can be found only in that region. They cannot be found in anywhere in the world. So we have to preserve that species. We have to also preserve the natural resources that has been found in there. Then there are herbs and shrubs that are useful for the medical use. So for that, we have set up a national mission for sustaining the Himalayan ecosystem. As we know, the Himalayan ranges, they are protecting India from various different hazardous winds that are coming from, I think some oceans like Pacific oceans or some, I'm sorry, but I'll read it that. So these are preventing our India from such kind of winds, and making a climate condition favorable for the people. So we have set the national mission for sustaining the Himalayan ecosystem. Now the steps and rules has been set up by the Department of Science and Technology. They even a capacity building program and research network has been set up there. Then strategic knowledge for climate change, of course, from we are having a committee. From that committee, we are taking up their ideas and then setting up those ideas and implementing at the ground level. Then developing climate change strategies at national and state level. So at national means central level, and we are having a states. So at state level, we are implementing those policies, and on a ground level by connecting with the local people. Means there are local people, we are asking them that what steps to be taken, so that they can collaborate with the government, and they can share the rules that yes, these are the rules that should be developed to protect the nature and to protect the Himalaya. Then steps taken by Indian government for climate change in 2021 and 22. So of course I have said that we are trying to cut our emissions totally net zero by 2070. And then of course in COP, means Conference of Parties 26, we have set the targets to reduce the carbon emission. Then our Prime Minister right now in 26th session of conference, he proposed life, and in Conference of Parties 27, we are setting up a pavilion. Life means life for the environment. So in this, what we are doing, lifestyle for the environment. In lifestyle for the environment, we have selected some subjects. Now what are those subjects? Like agriculture, fishing, then packaging. So our government wants that we have to work on all these sectors. Means we have to work with the environment, plus we have to flourish this sector, so that people and environment would be should be work in hand with hand. Means they have to work together. So subsequently he launched, means our Prime Minister has launched lifestyle for the environment on 5th June. The vision of life is to live a lifestyle that is tuned with our planet and it does not harm. Means though we are having these kind of sectors like horticulture, agriculture, then packaging, then tourism, we have to work with it, but it should not harm or disturb the nature. So for that, again, we are taking the steps. So it is known as the pro-planet people. Means such kind of thing, if we are implementing in our country, then it is known as the pro-planet people. Now COP27 and India. So of course, what we are doing, India and Maldives. So in we are having a neighboring countries like Maldives, then Sri Lanka, then even Burma, means Myanmar. So we are working with these countries, doing MOU and trying to tackle the climate change, that yes, we can do these kind of steps, and through these steps we can also share our rules and regulations to other developing countries, that yes, come with us, join a hand with us, and try to mitigate the climate change. So for that, what we are doing, climate finance means funding. Of course, funding is required. So funding through funding means the steps that we have taken, that climate finance, then technology support, and adaptation finance provision. So these three things, as we are seeing, so we are working on these three things. Now our government and our ministries are taking steps on these things to reduce this kind of effect. So means I just want to share that if India is doing these things, then other countries and other countries' government can also do this, and joining hands with each other, we can come up with, we can overcome the climate change. Then of course youth, how youth should participate. Then joining the environmental organization, like I have joined YONGO, UNFCC, I am a member of it. Then UNEP, we can give our inputs in their drafting policy. Then participating in various governmental, then NGO, and then school and community. So of course we can participate in it. I used to participate in various NGO activity like tree planting. Then there are conferences, we can also join those conferences and take the ideas. Then joining cleanup drives, that we know that at school or in community, or cleaning the ocean, beaches. Then of course planting tree, then garbage packaging. So in this way we can participate. Youth can also post their whatever the activities they are doing on social media. Then helping report illegal activities, like if there is landsliding or tree cutting, then we can report to our local government that this thing should be stopped. So in this way we can take an initiative. Then of course there are marathon was there. To if I used to participate in marathon to promote the idea that yes, zero waste run was the marathon that has been organized by Tanzania. So we can give this kind of message that there are the wetlands. To save the wetlands, we can participate in this kind of things. Then of course it's our responsibility that towards our environment and planet, that we have to protect it. So to protect it, these kind of small steps if we taken, then it can influence a lot of group. It can cover even a globe if we are taking such kind of steps. I mean, youth are taking these kind of steps, and we have to work on it. So yes, these are the references that I have to from Ministry of Environment, then DST and MOEFCC and ISRO. So yes, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Sonali, for a good presentation, and it was crystal clear, and it was really great one from your side. Thank you so much. And next one will be our delegates from Uganda. Actually, she is one of the partner of the event. Her organization is a partner of our current event, and her name is Sharon Nadukunda from Uganda. And I would like to give a small introduction about her at first. Nadukunda Sharon is a youth climate activist and have a lot of knowledge in environment and climate action. And she's working on the environment and climate action. Plus, she's advocating on it. And she's the founder of Green Homeland Initiative. It is an environmental conservation organization based in Uganda. And now I would like to invite her to the session. And please share your slides. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much for such a beautiful opportunity. My name is Sharon Nadukunda. I don't know if you're able to see me all. Hello, delegates. Are you able to see me?
No, I cannot see you. Can't see you.
You can see me.
It's only a thing that is showing. You are playing back.
Hello, are you able to see me?
Yes. Yes, but I think Sonali, can you turn off your screen? So can you please stop sharing the screen? Then Sharon can share hers.
Yes. Are you done, Sona?
I cannot see you.
Hello, good evening all.
Good evening.
Yes. Good evening. This is Sharon presenting.
Yes, Sharon, right now you can start the session. Okay. And we can have the discussion after the presentation, if you don't mind. Yeah.
Yes. So my name is Sharon, and I'll be presenting the topic, the importance of COP27 to my country, Uganda. Are we together?
Yes, go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you from Nigeria.
Yes, yes.
Yes, that is great. So my name is Sharon Natskunda. Like he introduced me, our doctor. My name is Sharon Natskunda from Uganda. I am the founder and director, Green Homeland Initiative. It is a youth-led organization focusing on ensuring a safe, healthy, and clean environment, supporting sustainable communities. So with Green Homeland, we work with both women and youth to involve them in businesses and in activities that are promoting environment, that are helping them to understand the environment and love the nature. So with that, I'll go straight to the topic because we have other presenters, other delegates that have not presented. I'll not take most of your time, but I'll share more about Green Homeland, what we do, the amazing work we are doing in Uganda. Why my topic is why COP27 is important in Uganda, actually in my country, because I am a female youth Ugandan who was born and lived in Uganda. First of all, I will take you briefly about what is COP27. Allow me to inform you, my dear delegates, that so many youth, apart from these youth who are at least educated, who have attained a little bit of education, understand the COP27. Today, where I come from, my country, I represent youth, the vulnerable youth in communities that have not had an opportunity to go to school, the youth that have left school because of early pregnancy, teenage mothers that have attained small education or no education at all. So when I sit with them and explain what is COP, COP is happening in Egypt today. We are having COP in November. They really don't understand what COP is. And I want to use this platform to inform my dear delegates that whenever you have an opportunity to talk about COP27, because we have recurring years. Last year we had COP26, today it is COP27. So it keeps recurring as the years goes by. So when you have an opportunity to talk about COP, please tell them that COP is the conference of parties. Some of them just know the word COP. They even don't know what does it mean. Like, this is just a short acronym of COP, but it is the conference of parties. Are you together, dear delegates? Hello?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Okay, you can hear me?
Yes, and if you don't mind,
Yes,
can
we
you
hear you.
make the screen
Yes,
quite
we can
bigger?
hear you.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yeah, like
Yes.
your slide is not that much clear for us. That's the problem.
Oh, sorry, it is in black and white, not so.
Could you make that in the full screen so it will be more clear for us?
Make it
If you
slightly
tilt,
bigger.
Yes,
yes, if
full
you
screen.
tilt your phone bit, then we can see that more clearly.
Yes, let me try this and see. I make it a bit more wider because I want really to flow with you, my dear delegates. This is really a very, I chose this topic because it touched my soul. Me as Sharon Natskunda working with the youth, vulnerable youth in my, involve them in climate change. How can they be active? How can they participate? How can they be part of this cause? I find so much difficulties in involving them because they always think that being the love of nature, fighting for climate, showing advocacy, creating awareness is part of the government's role. You understand? Like they always think it is not their role. For their role is to do other things, but not the environment. You find that we have found challenges. So I came up with this beautiful research to talk to present at this pre-COP Youth Summit, that Conference of Parties or COP 27. It is the governing body, composed of the representatives of the member states, whose countries are signatories of the International Convention and accredited observers. So this was the script. It is a supreme body. Like, as you see, we have so many countries. There are so many representatives of the countries going to Egypt today. Why? Because there is not climate change. So these are the standards of the number of times. So the 27 is the standard for the number of the times the conference has been held. So this is the 27th time we are having the COP, or the Conference of Parties. This is our 27th time. So the UNFCCC, my dear delegates, allow me to tell you that this is the United Nations Climate Change Conference. Some of us have come across this acronym, this short abbreviation, but we do not know how to explain to our fellow youth. Yes?
Yeah, excuse me, Sharon. Actually, I could share your slides because I have a copy of your slides.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yeah, I will share your slides. I have the copy of your slides. So I believe
are you going to help me share the slides?
Yeah, I will share your slides. I have a copy of your slides. So
yes,
I think
yes. It is very okay. It is very okay. I'm happy that
you
are going to share up my slides.
Yeah.
So why is COP27 important to Uganda? First of all, I come from my small country, Uganda, which is located in East Africa. It is about 46 million population today, where climate change implication has been tested and failed. I give a scenario of the recent hunger crisis we had in Karamoja, where people died, 24 people. I agree with me, my dear delegates, that we almost nearly lost 24 people who died of hunger-related diseases, and leaving 5,600 people displaced with no home, becoming homeless. Why? Not forgetting the massive floodings that happened in eastern part of Uganda that wreaked havoc of livestock. So many animals died, the crops perished, human life, we lost people. Therefore, we need a serious intervention to calm climate crisis in Uganda. This looks like many people lack sensitization, awareness on climate change. I hope the negotiations that we're going to have at COP27 will minimize the impact on the environment and ensuring resources are available for the future generations. And for today, because we are being affected, my dear delegates, and create a better quality of life. This is what we are looking for at COP27. So why is it important, COP? I continue to tell you, my dear delegates, that in Africa, the continent, we have only contributed to 4%. We have only contributed to 4% of the global emissions, but we are suffering the significance of climate change. Allow me to tell you, my dear delegates, that we as Africans, you can agree with me, my fellow dear friends in Kenya, Cameroon, and other African countries, we have faced these challenges more and more, even the countries that have not really that have been contributing to this global emotion, these emissions of the greenhouse gases. It's only 4%. And I hope the COP27 will be a great opportunity. This is why we are having COP27 every year. The COP27 also will be a great opportunity to create partnership and convince stakeholders, because we shall have so many stakeholders coming from different countries. And what we are asking for these countries that are representing at COP27 is we are looking for partnerships to convene the stakeholders and also the national climate actions to take part with the organization, to work together with the youth organizations. It's unfortunately that we tried so hard to see that we send so many youth to represent us, but because of the environmental standards and the policies, we managed to send a few delegates that will represent us in Egypt. But we hope that they will create, they'll have that partnerships. As the youth today, we appreciate ENCORE for having this summit, because we have so many delegates hearing us. We believe that our voices are going to be taken and they are going to be heard to so many people that are concerned, and we hope that we shall have the negotiations and agreements after this COP27 happening. So the COP27, we are trying to look at the engaging the legislative arm of government, country that is representing. That's why we see that COP27 is really important, because it will involve the negotiations, the engagement, the engaging of the legislative, the ruling bodies are with the government. So when the legislative arm of government take an action or sign on any agreement or any article, we believe that this article has to work. So our part as the youth climate activists is to ensure that they put in action. They do not just write a piece of paper and throw it down. No, we have to follow up to see that whatever policy they create is for the good of our climate, for the good of our environment, and for the future generation to come. So this is what we are looking at COP27. But we're also looking at its importance. We are looking at it will increase the youth participation. Why? Because we are having so many youth coming on board. So it increases the youth participation and engagements on climate change issues and address climate injustice by adopting key decisions on major issues that will accelerate the worsening impacts of climate change. Allow me to tell you, my dear delegates, that COP27 in Uganda is wonderful. I am happy that this is the year that I've been really very participatory in the COP, because I am attached. Why? Because I have gotten an opportunity to involve, to engage with the youth, work with these youth who are vulnerable, these youth who have been left behind, but they are affected. They are the most people that are affected, the women. They're the most people that are affected by the effects of climate change. So the COP27 will lead to opportunities that will lead economies that are more sustainable, inclusive and resilient, thus reducing the vulnerability of these people. And COP27 is also important because it will seek to raise awareness about the impacts of climate change, environmental degradation on human mobility. COP27 is still important to Uganda because it provides the global platform for the address climate change, to address the climate change, including climate finance.
In the last 10 days. Hello. Hello.
Yes, yes. Are we together, dear delegates?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes,
are you
we
here?
Can hear you.
Hear me?
Hear you.
Yes. Can you hear me, my dear delegates?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. As I conclude, I want to tell you that, yes, as I conclude, I want to tell you, my dear delegates, and all youth who are representing in different countries, that we should embrace COP27. If we have gotten opportunities to attend, or like the ENCORE, I really want to appreciate ENCORE so much for this wonderful opportunity to have us represent our views, to have us, our voices to be heard out there, because we have the pain as the youth that have been affected. I've been involved with the youth who have been affected physically, engaging with them, hearing their stories. They are so touching. So I believe that the COP27 that is happening in November next month is going to create, it's going to be a change. It's going to create a lot of change. It's going to create a lot of impact for our countries that are facing this climate crisis. As Uganda, we have no time to waste. We stand fully to fulfill the agenda at COP27 and push for bold climate action for Africa and the rest of the world. We pledge to use our collective voices and power to make COP27 a story of results and outcome, not just promises of Uganda and Africa at large. They have been promising so many things, but we believe for this COP27 is going to be a difference. It's going to create a very big difference. So that's why it is very important for Uganda and also for other countries at large. We really need to embrace COP27, push out our views, let our voices be heard. What we are facing, if we have an opportunity to share what our countries are going through, like I told you what we are facing currently in Uganda, we have to put our voices out and be heard. Together we can, as the youth of this generation. We have the powers, we have gotten the chances, we have gotten the opportunities to do this. So many organizations are coming out to support us, like ENCORE is doing this free of charge. I really want to appreciate you. May God bless you for this opportunity. And I want to wish my dear delegates who have been selected to represent different countries a wonderful evening and a very nice presentation. Thank you so much. I remain Sharon Natskunda, youth activist and founder of Green Homeland Initiative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharon, for that wonderful presentation. And anyway, you give an outline on what is COP and how the COP is going to or affect the Uganda. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for your wonderful delegation today. And now I would like to invite our next delegate. Yes, Sharon.
Yes, you are very most welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Now I would like to invite our other delegates, Isa SA, and I hope he is already gathered here. Isa SA, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, and Isa SA is a Secretary General and Youth Mobilizer of Friday for Future, Sierra Leone, and yeah, now he is with us today to delegate, and he is with us to give his views on the COP27 and what they did, especially the country did during the last COP26. Okay, thank you. Now the floor is to you. You can share your slides. And if you don't have the slides, please let me know. Or if you have any difficulties while sharing the slides, let me know. I could collect it and I will share the slides for you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry, I prepared a speech and I sent my speech through the email.
Yes, I will share your PPT. Yeah, I will share your slides just now. I think I have your speech. Just I can share that.
Yeah, thank you. Executive and members of the ECHO International, colleagues, climate activists, I am Issa Sisi, Secretary General and Youth Mobilizer Fridays for Future Sierra Leone. I bring you greetings from the hard-working team in Sierra Leone. I am thankful for the opportunity given me to talk on the climate crisis in my country on this pre-COP27. You may be aware that we are the third most vulnerable country in the world when in terms of climate and the environment as a result of exhaustive mining of minerals, stone, sand mining, and soil excavation, for house construction and persistent deforestation as a result of timber logging. All these components take place from village, community level to national. These issues have permeated the whole country and have become a menace and great threat to the environment. Amidst the much advocacy work along these lines, little or nothing has been achieved. The will to forestation is missing, coupled with very poor, low law enforcement. The effect of some of these mining activities have led to low yield farming due to soil contamination. Over the years, our country experienced some serious climate challenges, including but not limited to flooding and mudslide. The water catchment areas have all been abused by individuals building scanty dwelling. People have cut down all the forests in the provinces and the western area of Freetown to build dwelling. The Ministry of Lands and Country Planning continue to connive with private businessmen to do our lands in reserve areas. Freetown is over congested, cropped with many buildings with no room for green activities. Instead, we experience high scale of erosion, destruction of lives and property. We need to do more and go higher with our campaign, especially with the world leaders. Our slogan says people not profit, but what's seen and get is the reverse, profit instead of people. The government continues to give operational license to companies for mining of minerals and timber logging. The need to set up climate environmental reviews committee to hold regular engagement quarterly, half-yearly, or annually. This review committee will help us in the fight against climate action and environmental crisis. It is expected that they will have direct contact with world leaders and their respective line ministries, departments, and agencies. The MDAs are to be charged to see the fight on climate change a priority by partnering with fellow climate activists. My fellow climate activists, I am a victim of climate crisis, as most of you here may have heard about our country, Sierra Leone. A day in my life that I will never forget. It was my saddest day yet. It was the mudslide on August 14th, 2017. Thousands of people were buried alive. Pregnant women, suckling mothers, school-going children, university students, persons with disabilities, ordinary men and women. I personally lost my father and elder brother. As a result, some of the survivors became homeless. Some resorted to prostitution to make ends meet. Some teens ended up pregnant. Problems kept compounding, yet weak solution. Today, I want to go on my knees and plead with bodies, especially the United Nations, UNFCCC, Climate 2025, to turn their attention fully to this crisis. No better time than now to stand up and act and reset our climate. Let's live our tomorrow today. Let's think of a future environment for our children. Let's do the right thing and do it at the right time. I thank you all for your audience.
Thank you so much, Isa, for your speech. And anyway, he shared his speech with us, and this is all about the speech. And thank you so much. And we are sorry to hear that happened to you. And yeah, and we have to work together to tackle these climate issues. So we can do whatever we can, and we should say, or we should force our governments and others to do more effective actions rather than just pledges or rather than any promises. Right now, it is a time to do the real action. And I hope the government will do the necessaries in upcoming COP27. Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you. Okay, now I would like to invite our next delegate. I hope he's also gathered here, Kato Paul from Uganda. The delegate, Kato Paul. I think unfortunately he was unable to join with us today. I would like to skip him and go to the last delegate, and that is Kakuma Iwa. Are you there, Kakuma?
Yes, please.
Yes, Iwa, right? Yeah. Please, can you share your PPT with us?
Okay, please. Good afternoon, or greetings to you all.
Thank you.
Is
You
that
can
okay? Okay. Greetings to you all. My condolences go to the previous delegate. Sorry about that. May God strengthen you. I would like to thank ENCORE Foundation for this initiative to have our voices heard. I am Kakuma Eva and I'm a lawyer from Uganda. I will start my presentation with this saying by Benjamin Franklin, who said that when the well is dry, then we will know the worth of water. And this points to the things that we do, not knowing that there will be consequences. Today you cut a tree, not knowing that tomorrow you will face the consequence of global warming and scorching sun. Yes. I'm here today to join the thousands of pro-environmentalists on a humble and grateful note, because the subject matter at hand is honorable and it talks about human dignity. One of the presenters from Uganda, Ms. Natkunda Sharon, has ably talked about the COP or COP27, and mine, I'll be talking about what is in it for Africa and its youths. COP, like as has already been discussed, the COP27 aims to clarify if international processes can be a solution to the increasing rising threats of climate change. As we have all been educated, that COP stands for a conference of parties that are hosted in relation to biodiversity, climate change, and desertification. So this one will not only be the 27th COP to be held, but also one of a kind, for it gives hope to solve Africa's climate change problems and the world at large. Being billed as an African COP by way of its venue, I am optimistic that Uganda, my motherland, will have her issues, which are also affecting Egypt and Africa, at the center of discussion. It is important to note that Uganda is still struggling to limit climate change to the agreed levels, and yet it is among those developing populations that are most vulnerable to climate change. Currently in Uganda, I'm sorry, some of the things I'm talking about may not be in my slide. It's because I wanted it to be more visible for you people to see. I'll talk about the East African crude oil pipeline that is going on right now, that is going to run from the Albertine region in Uganda to Tanga in Tanzania. And it is causing a threat to the climate, although there are deliberations that are being made that it's not going to affect the climate in any way. Our brothers and sisters from Nigeria can testify of the oil spills in Ogun land from Shell. This time in Uganda, it is Total Energies. In Nigeria, it was Shell. So with the population of Uganda, with our economic standing at this moment, I don't think we are able to deal with the consequences of climate change. For example, if an oil spill happens, we have Lake Victoria. It is the largest lake in East Africa, and it has parts in the three countries in East Africa, that is Uganda, Kenya, and Tanzania, which has been put to a threat just in case in future there is an oil spill from the East African crude oil pipeline. The picture you see here, recently this year, we had floods in the eastern part of Uganda. Miss Natunda Sharon was talking about it. That's Simbale City. And it caused a lot of havoc, loss of lives, destruction of property that was worth millions of money. Some of these businesses that were destroyed were belonging to youths, people who are just trying to make a living, people who are trying to have a life. And when the floods happened, there was a lot of loss that could not be mitigated. When the Minister for Disaster Preparedness showed up, they only showed up with 5 million Ugandan shillings. If you can convert that, that is very little money. 5 million Uganda shillings is very little money to mitigate the situation. So this points to how much vulnerable Uganda is to even a minor climate change consequence. The National Environment Authority of Uganda revealed that flash floods are a manifestation of climate change. In fact, the eastern region in Uganda has suffered so much, not forgetting the west also, to the extent that every time it rains, people are scared, people are put to a threat because they do not know if their houses will be swept by the rain in the night. They do not know if their businesses will survive, their cattle, all their property. In 2019 to 2020, Uganda experienced rising water levels in Lake Victoria, Lake Choga, Lake Albert, and the River Nile basins. That's almost because those are the biggest lakes in Uganda. As a third world country, Uganda has little contribution to the climate change monster, but she stands to be among the countries that are most affected. It is also important to note that Uganda adopted the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals in 1962. That is when she got her independence. And Sustainable Development Goal 13 provides for climate action, through which action must be taken to combat climate change and its impacts. These have been helpful in mitigating the effects of climate change, but only to a small extent. So Uganda continues to suffer with the adverse effects of climate change, which puts the future of the youths and other vulnerable groups at risk. I'd like to conclude my presentation by saying that I recommend that the voices of the youths are amplified, because it is us and our children who will suffer the consequences of degrading actions of today. One of the previous presenters or delegates, called Obiora, talked about the fact that the youths need support. Our voices need to be magnified. In Uganda, I would like to applaud youth initiatives like Greenland Initiative. Thank you so much, Sharon Natunda. We have Youth for Green Communities. Very many voices that need to be amplified, because it is us who are going to face the consequences as selfish governments are signing up for tendencies that are going to harm the future. It is us who should stop it, because who knows, by the time we are facing the consequences, they will no longer be with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Eva, for your presentation. I hope today's sessions we can wind up here. Actually, today is the last day, and we are going to finish our Global Youth Summit. And thank you so much for everyone who gathered here. Actually, we organized this event from last October 16th, and then second one was on the October 23rd, and the last one or the last section was on this today. And we had a lot of delegates, especially we had youth leaders from their countries, and we had delegates from India, Indonesia, then Dominic Republic of Congo, Uganda, Cameroon, and USA, and Burundi, Bangladesh, Kenya, Mali, Nigeria, and Ceylon. And all these people speak on what their government did during the COP26, either the climate conference of parties 26, and what is their expectations in the upcoming COP27 that is going to held in Egypt in this November 6 to 18. I believe this platform was a unique one for the youth, and they could raise their voice for their nation, as well as they connected with the people across the world to know what their countries did yet and what they are lacking. And I believe this conference given insights to all of you to know what is happening all over the world. And this is just our first initiative to give a unique platform to the youth as well as the elder people to meet each other and to give their opinions on the COP up, and they can come together under a single umbrella. And that's why we opened this one. And near future, we will open the post COP. Then we will discuss on the COP27 and what are the decisions they taken. Okay, and I believe all these country representatives who speak here did a wonderful job and did a good studies. And I never expect someone who is really affected is came to speak today or during our section. That's also happened today. And we are sorry to hear that the ISA was one of the victim of the climate crisis. And we have a lot of climate crisis victims around the world, and we should learn from them, and we should do something very seriously. And every cop-ups, the governments is come together in one particular place, and they are taking the pledges and promises. But as a youth, we should make sure that the government is taking proper action after taking the pledge. And yeah, I am expecting more participation from more countries in upcoming pre-COP events as well as the post-COP events. And this is just climate COP. We have multiple COPs like biodiversity COP, and other COPs are also there. And we will try to organize those events for the sake of everyone. And thank you so much for joining, for both delegates as well as the participant. Thank you so much for joining with us. And we are also a youth lead organization, and we have a global youth network, that's ENCORE Club. Along with BCRI, we started that. And we are going to have the regional as well as the national representative for that club. And I'm expecting some of you might apply sooner, and we will open the applications near future. And right now I will send a link for our feedback. So you can fill the link, and you can get the certificate of participation, and it will be open only for nearly 1 hour because we would like to make sure it's a meaningful participation, or you are here with us to hear the voice of the people. And if you have any queries, if you have any concerns from the participants right now, I would like to invite them to speak because many of you are eligible, I know, and I pick the people whenever I got a lot of applications. I don't want to left anyone behind. That's why I selected everyone from a different part of the world, irrespective of the race, irrespective of the gender, and irrespective of their language. That's why I did this time. And if anyone who is working very close with the ministries, or if anyone work with the climate action is gathered here, is already present here, I'm glad to hear their voice as well. Or if you have any questions, then that's also welcome. Yeah. Anything? or you can put that in the chat box. I would like to give the comments, as well as the delegates also will give good comments on it. And anyway, our conferences and events will be free of cost, because we don't want to make you in trouble or put you in trouble. Okay, and hopefully by next COP, we could provide some badges for attending the real COP. And any questions? All the questions are welcome now, and it is now open to discussion. Okay, Jude, that's great to know. Actually, I think the last one was in China, right? China. The first part was in China. Yeah, and maybe we will organize a post for the CBD conference as well. Then you are warm welcome to speak. And I think as for now, there is no questions from the participants. Yeah, Jody.
Yeah, actually, I was about to say something about the CBD. Because of 2020, they couldn't hold the conference, so they had a post 2020 CBD, which happened here in Nairobi, which I had the opportunity to attend, and is a very good conference with very good conversations, especially if you are environmentalist or if you have a passion for nature-based solutions, diversity, agriculture, mitigation, loss and damage. So for young people, I think for me, I would like more young people to get engaged with these forums, because the more they engage in it, the more they get equipped, and then the more the young people are equipped, that means that they will have a benefit to the future of the continent and their country and the world, because the youth are future global leaders. So it's good to check on that coming. Then there's also the UN oceans, and there's also the SDGs. So it's good for young people to keep on checking on these upcoming events, so that it always gives them an opportunity to have their say heard, especially young people from developing countries where they seem to be a bit neglected by the local government because they lack support to have their voices heard or to have their policies implemented. So it's always good for these young people from developing countries to go to try and go for those opportunities where they will have where they have a chance to confidently have their say. That's what I had to say. And then I'm so glad to hear so many Africans talking about the climate change. I'm glad because for the longest time I was wondering when will people come out, because in Africa one of the main challenges we have is lack of information. And then even when you give information to the community, the reception is so poor. So one thing I'm about to say is, the more young people try to do this, or they try to mobilize, they try to be change makers, it also have an impact to the community, because I believe young people are more aggressive and they know how to drive a point. So I think and they will easily help the community to understand their strengths and also to handle their challenges. So I'm glad to hear so many Africans talking about climate, and I'm looking forward to meet some of you who will be at COP. I'll be a facilitator at COI, and also I'll be moderating the African Development Bank side event at COP. So hope to see some of you there soon, and keep the good work. Keep being change makers. Remember, it's all about the power in you. It's time to act now. Thank you, everyone, and I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to meet you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming all in early and giving a good insight on what is happening in the UNEP and UN. Thank you so much. And I think somebody raised their hands. Samanika, yes.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, very good evening.
Good evening to all attendees and the delegates and the presenters. They're really happy. They have economics ECRO Maharashtra group, the good organizing for this global youth summit. In that I am attended 23rd and 30 because of I am the tribal area because network issue. But sometime we will attend. Sometime they have disconnected. The last 21st. Now 30. Really happy, sir. But our conversation. But I saw our messages. But actually time in 7:30 IST. That's I thinking 7:30. No, the delay to join. That is my cause, sir. Talk on our environment, our responsibility. That is the another. Anyway, the organizing very nice. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, we are
Hello.
very happy to hear that good comments from you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Greetings to everyone. My name is Rex Uche Ndubisi Wankwo. I'm from Wankwo Community Leadership and Development Foundation. We support climate change. We are a youth and environmental organization that supports climate change and sustainable development. In Nigeria, we are having issues of climate change. A lot of trees have been cut down. Some bushes have been cut down. Even recently we had overflow from Cameroon. Cameroonians, they opened their waterway. That is this water reservoir, and the thing have overflow, caused so much flood in Nigeria. The southern part of Nigeria have been submerged. Some houses submerged. Some people are dead as a result of opening of their canals from Cameroon. So these are some of the things that are giving us issues in Nigeria. At the center of Nigeria, where the river is flowing, that is Lokoja, some houses were submerged, some vehicles are entangled, even the rivers, the ocean crossed the bridge. So the people cannot pass for several days, up to 1 week. People are not passing through the bridge. Then these are some of the things that we're having, the issues that we're having in Nigeria. Then down to the Bayelsa state, the outermost part that entered inside the international waterways, that is Atlantic Ocean. Due to this running of the canal from Cameroon, some houses are equally submerged. The waters covered the bridge, so people were suffering. Some people died as a result of this water submersion. Then again, in environment, because we emit high carbon, there's too much carbon emission in Nigeria. Of course, Nigeria is an oil nation. As a result of that, most of the environment is being polluted by the use of vehicles, and this is not good. It's not encouraging. So we want to use this COP27 to tell other countries of the world that Nigeria is highly beaten by the environmental changes, these natural occurrences. So the take home is that, one, Nigeria is being submerged as a result of water flowing from Cameroon, from their dams recently. Then two, due to high carbon emission in the state, they are encountering environmental challenges. Thirdly, as a result of lumbering, cutting down of trees, burning down of bushes, Nigeria is also encountering environmental problems. So these three things is what one can take home, and we sincerely apologize for other countries of the world to look in-house and inward to help Nigeria solve their three environmental problems. Thank you very much. I remain Rex Uche Ndubisi Wankwo from Wankwo Community Leadership and Development Foundation. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your talk or your views on the COP up. And okay, so I think it is going to be more than 2 hours we are gathered here. So um, we have to stop the event, and we will come up with other similar event in the near future. And if you are interested to hear some general talks, because in half hour we are going to have another talk also, environment and our responsibility, and it is going to be given by one of the delegate from India. And so I need to wind up the current section. And I really thanking everyone who joined in these 3 days. Thank you so much. And please don't forget to fill the form. Then only you will get the certificate, and it will be open only for 1 hour. Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a great day to all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
I'm interested. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for the meeting.